Alright, so I'm going to show you guys today some tips for making your muffins or with using the muffin mixing method. In the first step of your muffin mixing method, you need to get out a bowl and put your dry ingredients in your bowl. So in my bowl right here, I already have my flour, my sugar, my baking powder, and my salt. I'm just going to give this a nice little stir to make sure everything's nice and mixed up in here. Step 2 of the muffin mixing method is to make a well. So when you make a well in the center of your bowl, you're literally just making a hole in the center of your bowl. So you can use your wooden spoon and just kind of push the ingredients out of the way, or as you guys know, I like to kind of get my hands dirty and messy, so I'm going to just use my hands to make the center, my well in the center of my bowl. So this is what your well should look like. So there's a hole in the center. Your ingredients are all just pushed off to the side. The next step of the muffin mixing method is kind of an unstated step, and that's to get your liquid ingredients together. So in my liquid measurer right here, I have my liquid ingredients. I poured my milk first, then I poured my oil, and then I added my egg. So you can kind of see the different layers going on right here, the milk, oil, and then egg. My egg's whole, so I'm just going to scramble or whisk my egg in my liquid measurer right here. Alright, and step 3 of the muffin mixing method is to pour your liquids in the center of your well. So I'm going to go for the center of my hole right here and just pour my liquids in. The next step of your muffin mixing method is to stir these ingredients together. I have a 12 stir rule. You do not want to overmix your muffins, because remember, if you overmix your muffins, you're going to have tunnels and peaks, which make your muffins look really weird. So you're only going to stir it 12 times. Wherever it is, after 12 stirs, literally drop your spoon and walk away. So I'm going to stir this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, so wherever that is, I'm dropping it. It is still lumpy. That is totally fine. Alright, so after this step, your next step for your muffin mixing method is to add your ingredients in, whatever your variety ingredients is. So if you're doing chocolate chips or blueberries, you would add your chocolate chips or blueberries in there, give it another 1 or 2 stirs with the chocolate chips or blueberries. So I'm just making a crumb top muffin, so I don't need to add any ingredients because I'm going to do the crumb topping when it comes out of the oven. So once you get your batter to this point, and if you're doing blueberry chocolate chip, pretend blueberries or chocolate chips are in there, you guys are going to get out a big Ziploc bag. On the front of the bag, please label the bag with your kitchen number and your hour, so that way tomorrow we'll know whose bag is whose and whose batter is whose. And you're going to scoop or scrape your muffin batter into your bag. This helps if you have one of your group mates help you with this, because it's a little messy and tricky. You can use a rubber scraper if you need to scrape down the sides of your bowl to get all of your batter in there, so it makes as much of your muffins as it can possibly make. Seal up your bag. Make sure again that it's labeled kitchen number and hour, and then you can go put this in the fridge. If you're not sure where in the fridge, just ask me. So for day 2 of your muffin method, or making our muffins, you're going to get out your batter that was in the fridge overnight with, make sure you're making sure it is your kitchen hour and number. Don't grab a different kitchens, even if theirs looks better than yours. What you're going to do, you have a couple options. We need to get this batter into our muffin tin that's lined with our muffin liners. You can obviously just open up the bag, get a spoon and scoop it or drop it into your muffin tin, because remember this is a drop batter, so you just drop it in there. But we found in the past you get really, really sticky. If you're digging your arm in your Ziploc bag, you're going to have muffin batter all the way up your arm, which is kind of gross. So I found a method that works a little better. Keep your bag sealed. We're gonna almost like pipe a cake with this. Squish your batter out of one of the corners of your bag. Take some kitchen shears, cut a little corner of your bag off, and then you can just kind of pipe your muffin batter into your muffin tin. And you want to fill your muffins about halfway to 3/4 of the way full because they are going to expand in the oven. So do your best. And remember, I'm doing my crumb top, so I'm going to add my topping at the end, so my cinnamon sugar topping at the end once they come out of the oven, not before they go in the oven. Blueberry and chocolate chips should already be in there if you're doing blueberry or chocolate chip muffins. It is a little bit of a tedious process once you get to this point because you want to try and get as much of your muffin batter as you can. You're going to have to squeeze it through. Alright, and I'm going to call that good enough for my muffins. Now you'll notice my muffin tin didn't fill all the way, so I can go ahead and remove these last 4 muffin tins. The empty ones, and then I'm going to actually readjust these muffins to allow for even baking. So I'm going to take my 2 corner muffins and carefully move them to the center. So basically now I have a muffin tin filled and I have my 4 corners empty. This is going to allow for all the muffins to bake evenly, but I don't want to leave these 4 corners completely empty. I'm going to fill these part of the way with water. This is going to kind of trick the oven almost into thinking that the whole pan is filled, which again will allow for even baking. If you left these 4 corners empty, it would kind of burn those parts of the pan. And then your corner muffins would also burn. They would bake faster than the center ones. Alright, so now these are ready to go into my preheated oven, and we're going to toothpick test them to make sure they're done once they come out. Okay. Alright, so when you're ready to check your muffins to see if they're ready, open up your muffin door, or open up your oven door, lower the oven door all the way down. With a pot holder, pull your oven rack out slightly. We're going to test with a toothpick. You want to choose one of your muffins in the center because these are going to bake the last. So you're going to poke your toothpick into your muffin, pull it out. If it comes out clean, there's nothing on it, then they're good to go. But you can see mine has some gunk on it, so mine needs to cook a little longer. So I'm going to push my muffins back in the oven, close my oven door back up, and probably set for maybe 2 more minutes.